Good afternoon and welcome to Not Minding My Own Business. I am Russell Farbiars, your host and estate planning and elder law attorney. I am joined here today by Chris Gregg from the Birdsboro Lodge. Chris, welcome to the show.
Oh, great to be here. Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, thank you. And I was saying before we went on the air that I'm really interested in what you're doing over the Birdsboro Lodge because I think it seems like it's a very unique concept. So can you just explain to our listeners what is the Birdsboro Lodge?
Okay, we're a senior care home. By the state regulations, it's called personal care, which would be PA Code 2600. It's a level of care below skilled and assisted living. So residents have to be ambulatory, which means get out in a fire drill once a month. So,
Do you test them?
oh yeah, once a month we do a fire drill. We have to do one on the overnight, and we got to vary the times of day when we do the fire drill. We have to time it. So there's some regulations involved. One of the fire drills has to be witnessed by a fire safety expert. So we call one in, and that's the basics of fire drills. And residents have to. We do a pre-screening admission, which we have to ask if the potential resident has ever wandered or eloped from home, and if they do come here and they wander, if they walk off site and actually like they're going back to where they used to live or previously in time, we have to notify the family and we have to find them a secure place. Once they've wandered once, the potential is there for them to wander again. So that's
Yeah.
basics.
So you said that the it's a personal care home, which is a step below assisted living. So what is the and I'm sure you get this question all the time, what is the difference between what you're doing and assisted living?
Okay, it assisted and skilled requires nurses, and they don't do fire drills. It costs a lot more money, but
Hmm.
we provide three home cooked meals a day, laundry, housekeeping, medication management. Typically, people will go from personal care to a skilled or assisted when they can no longer stay here.
Okay, so you don't provide any medical care other or any medical support other than managing the medications.
Yes, we do make sure they go to their appointments, etc. And whatever the doctors recommend, changing medications, upgrading, adjusting. Um, we do keep a great eye on their medical care.
Okay, and is it a i- does each of the residents have their own room or is it group living? What's the setup in the
Ah,
facility?
Great question. Private rooms with private bathrooms, low threshold showers, easy to step in with grab bars, and we help with the showering. We actually keep a schedule of when residents get their showers and make sure they get on some kind of a regular program with showering. Um, some people like to get showered daily or every other day. Others we have to entice into showering. For one reason or another, they get apprehensive about falling. We use shower chairs as necessary. So that's where we go with showering and
Okay.
bathing.
Okay. And what about you have activities or entertainment for your residents?
Yes, we post a schedule of bingo, left, right, center, movie night. We have a variety of things that get posted on a schedule. That's a great question because the state they inspect us annually. They call it a review or annual inspection, whatever. And they come in unannounced approximately 1 year after the previous inspection. This year they came a month early on my wife's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday to her.
Yeah, so I mean, I was tied up for hours, approximately 6 7 hours with the inspection. One inspector. The code is very pretty much straightforward. The PA code 2600's got about 225 items, and they pick away at the items. It's trainings, annual training for staff, the fire drill book, etc. And they immediately went over last year's findings. So there was approximately 10 findings last year, areas of improvement, areas for improvement.
Of course.
Yes, it's really not that difficult. This year we had half as many, but they verified last year's findings pretty much that we're following through on taking care of them. Trying to think originally, so you started off with activities and we alluded there. That's okay. But we have a piano man come in twice a month in the evenings, 6:30 to 7:30. He enjoys playing here, so he usually stays another half hour, depending on the crowd and how engaged he is with the crowd. But and then we're gonna have a new guitar player come in. And we do this morning we planned a trip to the library. So we were having more outings prior to
Mhm.
COVID. So it's kind of slowed down a little bit on outings with the COVID thing.
Of course.
But yeah, like I said, the state wants to see really a vigorous activity plan where they don't like the idea of the residents coming in and out for 3 meals, go back to their room. So like I said, we do chair exercises. We have a great staff. We have approximately 11, I believe, on staff, plus my wife and I. It's currently 14 residents. So we have plenty of staff coverage.
Mhm.
Um, on that topic, there's a lot of homes that look great on the outside. You get a tour, you don't know, and you got to hope that the care team is as good as the sales and marketing team.
Isn't that the truth, though? Uh,
It is. We have residents that have come from other homes, and the staff that has come from other homes, and they said, "Hey, where's he going?" And the staff come knocking on the door and said, "Hey, if you got room, we'd like to work with you because you're a lot smaller." And we had one CNA. She was taking care of approximately 80 residents. I don't know how she was doing it, but she was her and maybe an aide were getting 80 to the dining room.
wow.
And yeah, when she found out you guys got like 15 and all I got to get is we're licensed for 23, so the max will be 23 here currently, and that's all I got to take care of and get to the dining room. She goes, "Here's my resume. When can I start?" So she actually worked out great. So, but
So it sounds like you really are, because you're small, you're able to really give a lot of individualized attention to residents. Now, now, I know the answer to this question, but I want to make sure our listeners know this. You don't accept Medicaid, right?
right, we're a private pay
You're
facility.
private pay, and
Mm.
Medicare doesn't pay, doesn't
Right.
does, right. So
Yeah, this. Yep.
so completely private pay.
We do help. We do help. We're learning more about obtaining veterans benefits.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
a challenging process,
Mhm.
but we have a couple different companies that we're aware of, and one of them has worked very well. One of the residents here, the daughter, worked with a company that she was very impressed for the results that she got for the paperwork and time that she had to put into obtaining. You know, her husband was a veteran, so the resident she got her benefit,
A-
which was
ab-
great.
Absolutely. We recommend that to a lot of clients who, when they get to this stage where they don't need skilled nursing care, but they need something a little bit more than being at home.
Uh,
And the veterans pension plan is a great solution.
yes.
All right. So how did you originally get into this line of work?
Great question, Russell. My wife is an RN, and after our last son was born 15 years ago, we were looking to do something different. I had a manufacturing background, and I was looking at different businesses. And this one was for sale, and it was closed for 7 years and it needed plenty of building work. Um, I looked into what was required and the testing involved. To become an administrator, you got to take 80 hours of classroom training, pass the test. You need a serve safe food handler for the kitchen. Take the 2-day class, pass the test. direct care staff 50-question tests by the state, and basic life support for healthcare providers. So my wife, as a nurse, she could administer medications,
Right.
and it was a jumping point or starting point. I mean, it took us 2 years to get the building up to code. There was 2 pages of write-ups by the fire department. I knew that
Mhm.
going into this. And I looked over the list and I says, hey, we can do this. And we just kept on going. And then 8 months with the state to get the license. And we kept on growing from there.
Was was the facility a personal care home before, or did you transform it into a personal care home?
It was built as personal care in the mid 80s.
Okay.
Jack and Delilah Roman had built it in the mid 80s and it kept on expanding. They did a couple expansions, and they were licensed for a lot more than we got our license for. As times have gone on, look with a fine-tooth comb and a different eye, and so our license is a little bit lower on resident capacity right now. But yes, it was built as a personal care home.
Okay. So tell me, is there something about your industry that the average person wouldn't be aware of?
Well, the big thing, we get inquiries and people say my mom or my dad or my uncle needs skilled or they need assisted living, and we have to start asking the questions. Maybe they don't need skilled or assisted. Let's find out your needs. And a basic thing about looking for a place is meeting the residents' needs. So when people start asking, you got to find out exactly what are you looking for, and why do you think they need skilled assisted personal care? Personal care is not recognized in a lot of different states, this level of care. It's like a stepping stone from
Mhm.
coming out of your home where you're not doing that great, you're not getting good meals, you fell down. We have a pager system for residents that they can wear a pager around their neck, emergency call bell. They can take it with them with their walker. And our staff, we have 5 receivers that will know if somebody presses the button, they fell down, they need something. So a big thing is knowing exactly what your loved one needs when you're looking for a place.
And do you do some sort of assessment on potential residents to make sure that you're the right fit?
Yes, great question. The state actually has a pre-assessment screening form, 2 pages, and the basics are if they can self-medicate, okay, if they are ambulatory, and what level they would need of possibly cognitive coaching to get out in a fire drill, and if they would be safe with poisonous chemicals. If somebody left a bottle of Lysol in the hall, would they drink it? So we want to make sure that if that happened, I mean, we keep everything locked up, but
I yeah, you got to think about the worst case scenario. Uh,
yes.
yeah.
So, but yeah, a big thing about personal care is meeting the residents' needs. No
Okay.
doubt about it. So we do the pre-admission screening. Ideally, we would go to the home or the setting that they're at. If they're at a rehab facility and the family doesn't want them going back home, the case manager at the rehab facility or the hospital stated or told the family, said, hey, they don't belong on their own. You really should do something about it. The other agency that gets involved to help is the Area Agency on Aging. So this is Berks County. We have Berks Area Agency on Aging, and there's probably 52 counties I think 62 in Pennsylvania that have an area agency on aging. So they have a list of the personal care homes, assisted homes, skilled homes, and there is another unregulated option called independent living, where there's no requirements or regulations. You pretty much can cook on your own, and you get minimal oversight.
Hmm.
Um, so that option is out there for people to consider. So that's a breakdown is finding out, how their loved ones' needs are going to be met wherever that you're thinking about moving them. So
Well, and that makes a lot of sense. I think that no one. I've never met anyone who says I want to go to a nursing home. Everyone says I'm not going to a nursing home, and sometimes that's what's necessary. But it's nice it would be nice to be able to point people to a less restrictive alternative, such as what you have in
Yes,
Birdsboro, uh, because people need the help, but they don't necessarily need the restrictiveness of a nursing facility.
absolutely. So, personal care, like I said, personal care, it has to be explained, and it's a give and take thing, and learning and asking a bunch of questions. Allergies, allergic to medicine, I'm allergic to food, and if and pureed, possibly pureed or chopped food with swallowing issues. So we have to ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
sure, and you have to be able to personalize the care to each individual resident, I'm sure.
I know. Speaking of personalizing the care, there's a document called a RASP, a Resident Assessment and Support Plan. So this is 6 or 8 hours of questions, uh, cl- close to it. But we're gonna after they're here, we have to fill out a RASP, a Resident Assessment, and how we're going to meet their needs. The assessment. The resident can be part of it and sign off on it, or the power of attorney, or whoever may be taking care of
Mhm.
or helping with the transition. But that is a lengthy document. The state inspectors usually come in and ask for a RASP, and it's done annually, or whenever there's a change in the level of care required. Somebody goes out to the hospital, they had a stroke, and they come back with special needs. We
Mhm.
have to meet them, and the RASP is done, revised to include how we're addressing their needs. If they get a suprapubic tube, or so different things happen, different organs and failures, and they have to be taken care of.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense. So, Chris, now I want to just change gears a little bit and talk a little bit about you. Are you originally from Berks County?
no, I'm from New York, Long
I
Island.
I had a feeling. I'm also from Long Island, and I could tell the accent almost immediately. What part of Long Island did you come from?
Lindenhurst, Suffolk County.
Okay,
So,
you're on the South Shore. I grew up on the North Shore near Port Jefferson.
so
Um, but what brought you to this area?
well, we found the place for sale, and then we just started learning about the area. So that's pretty much it. It was for sale for about a year, and in that time we learned about what was required, and kept on learning about the area. And it's a beautiful area. The facility is zoned in an area that's agriculturally protected, zoned
Okay.
AP. So it's 40-acre minimum zoning. So across the street is 40 acres. That's not going to get subdivided. One
Mhm.
neighbor has 15 acres, another has 6.5. So we got some elbow room here,
Well,
and we're close. We're close to whatever we need. You want to go out to eat? There's nice places to eat. We got Home Depot, shopping, Redner's, Walmart, the library. So it is. It's a beautiful area.
yeah, it is, and certainly much more cost effective than Long Island. You know. Uh,
Yes.
so, what is your favorite restaurant to go out to in the area?
Good question. Meraki Manor.
Okay.
Okay. On 724. I think it's by Seifert. Nice
Okay.
place. You can eat outside during the summer. Yellow House is nice, and Yellow House Hotel, nice
Hmm.
place. There's a couple of them. There's others to be tried.
Of
Definitely
course,
others to be tried.
of course. And now I know you're a member of the Small Business Resource Association. That's how you and I met.
Yes.
Um, can you tell me a little bit about how that organization helps you? Um,
Okay. Tune Up Tuesdays. Every other Tuesday, we have Tune Up Tuesday. Gary Seibert does a great job of getting somebody that's can speak in depthly about their profession, and it's always a learning thing. I
mhm.
mean, we have to all keep learning. I mean, got to keep stimulating the brain. We have to feed
Yeah.
positive into the subconscious.
Well,
That's that's
yeah,
what I look at it.
yeah, we all always have more that we can learn. So it's good to keep doing that. What do you like to do when you're not working?
I did like archery. I do like archery outside, the outdoors. My wife finds me outside too much, maybe, but it's all good, you know. I do like archery, doing things with the family, boating. You know, I did grow up boating on Long Island, clamming, fishing, boating, offshore. I've been 90 miles out to the Hudson Canyon with a big game fish, which is
Nice.
that's quite the trip. I did my share of hunting, deer hunting, and I actually harvested a bear one year. I was fortunate.
Hmm.
And archery is fun, just for mental relaxation. So,
Yeah, yeah. I have done it a couple times and have enjoyed it. Although I'm not sure that I trust myself so much with an arrow, but and a bow. Uh, now, how often do you get away? I know travel in the last couple of years has been hard, but do you like to travel still?
um, well, something we never really went to Fire Island, a 30-mile
Huh.
long barrier island off of Fire Island. And a couple of years ago, my sister-in-law, found a vacation home they had to rent.
Oh, nice.
And we've done that a couple summers. So rent a big house, get a bunch of the family together. We go to the beach. And we have a good time. So that's pretty
Nice.
pretty interesting. My father, in the early '60s, bought a place in upstate New York by a private lake, and
Mhm.
I learned how to water ski and swim. And when I was 16 years old. I swam a half a mile across this lake with an inner tube in front of me. So I grew up in enjoying that lake as a summer vacation every year for many years with the family.
Ve-
So,
Very nice. Well, Chris, this has been great. I've really enjoyed learning more about personal care homes and the Birdsboro Lodge. Is there something that more people should be aware of about what you do?
well, we call ourselves the B&B for seniors. We cater. We attend to call bells immediately. We've heard some stories about call bells, and it takes a while for people to come around and take care of whatever their needs are. I mean, we're quick on the call bells. Um, there's 50 businesses approximately in an 18-mile radius that have some aspect of all different aspects of care. I think as a family-owned and hands-on business, our care is phenomenal. There's very few places that you're going to find where the owners are available. So I think that's a huge difference.
Absolutely. If any of our listeners are looking to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
We have the landline 610-575-0851, or my personal cell is 631-704-2251, or the website, birdsborolodge.com, and the Facebook page also. We have some testimonials at the Facebook page. We got an aerial drone view outside, which I think is pretty neat. Comes up the block with some music.
Yeah.
That's the best way to get in touch with us. Well, you could stop by, depending on the day and what time you stop by. We've taken care of impromptu tours when somebody needs a place and somebody's looking. So,
Well, wonderful. Again, thank you very much, Chris Gregg from the Birdsboro Lodge. I really appreciate you taking the time to share with us about your business. And this has been another episode of Not Minding My Own Business. Thank you to our listeners, and stay tuned for another episode next week.
all right, Russell, thanks a lot. It's a pleasure.